All right, well, as we mentioned off the top, UFC 146 is the first ever all-heavyweight card, breaking the previous record of 4 fights on the main card set back in 2000 at UFC 28. All right, now we move up the main card to a pair of dynamic fighters and personalities. Fighting out of the famed Team Quest camp, he has finished 90% of his opponents in his 21-3 MMA career. He is one of the most aggressive fighters in the division and on the roster. And his last time out against Stefan Struve, he entered the octagon as the hairiest fighter in UFC history. Making his 3rd UFC appearance on Saturday night, please welcome Dave Herman. His opponent representing Las Vegas, Nevada, he was the Season 10 winner of The Ultimate Fighter. The man possesses a huge right cross that has resulted in a handful of one-punch knockouts, and he is never afraid to tell it like it is. Please welcome the proud Las Vegan Big Country, Roy Nelson. All right, well, today we've already trotted out the tallest fighter in the UFC. Now we have the man who, up until this last fight camp at least, would have been perhaps the heaviest. He has used his size and power to hammer fist his way to 14 finishes in his 16 career wins against only 3 defeats. Finally set to make his UFC debut, he is Antonio Bigfoot Silva. And Bigfoot will be assisted with any interpretation by manager Alex Davis. All right, hitting the stage next is the man many believe is the single most talented heavyweight on the planet. Few in the UFC can match his strike output, and only middleweight champion Anderson Silva can claim to being more accurate with his punches and kicks. He is 9-1 in the UFC and a proud Mexican-American. Fully healed from injury and on a mission to get his gold back, please welcome the former UFC heavyweight champion of the world, Cain Velasquez. All right, let's start with Dave Herman and Roy Nelson. Dave, wholesale changes to this UFC 146 main card since it was originally announced. Now, given your experience coming up on the local circuit, maybe you're the guy best equipped to handle a late change in opponent. I'm told at one point in your career you were driving to the venue and you got a call that your opponent had been changed for that night. Did I get good information? Is that the truth?
Yeah, I've had opponents changed when I got there, actually. Showed up and one guy backed out and somebody else jumped in, or it doesn't really matter.
All right, well, you've said that you never used to train properly in the past. Maybe your striking fundamentals left a little bit to be desired, despite the fact that you've finished a whole lot of guys in a whole lot of different ways. Dan Henderson of Team Quest has said recently you're training as hard as anyone in the gym. Have your own expectations now changed for what you can do here in your MMA career?
Not really. I still have the same expectations.
What do you think has been the biggest evolution in your game then?
Well, I mean, my last fight, I lost, but it was the first fight where I actually kept my hands up and looked like I knew what I was doing striking. So I was, I've been really working on that and trying to improve.
All right, we go to Big Country now. You enter The Ultimate Fighter as certainly a hardcore fan favorite, blasted your way through the field on the show. How would you assess your MMA career and your UFC career, though, since you became The Ultimate Fighter?
Entertaining.
Overall, have you exceeded your own expectations, or record-wise maybe not where you thought you would be?
Record-wise, it's one of those, I think I'm going to go to old Gracie school. You know, if we had no time limits, I'd definitely win all of them.
I know you put some sort of emphasis on entertaining. You've gotten some bonus money. What kind of obligation is it to a fighter to not just win, but in a spectator sport like mixed martial arts, put on a show for the fans?
I think in our sport, it's definitely entertainment. There's a little, you know, the athlete part, you know, adds a little bit to it. But if we weren't selling ratings, we wouldn't be on TV, and that's the entertainment part.
All right, some have suggested, Roy, that of all 10 heavyweights on this main card, you may be the single one who needs the win the most. Is that fair?
It all depends on who you're asking.
I'm asking you.
Me, as long as the fans are happy, it doesn't really matter.
All right, Big Country Roy Nelson, best of luck on Saturday night. Now we get to Antonio Bigfoot Silva and Cain Velasquez. Bigfoot, so changes to the main event here. You stand to be the biggest beneficiary. You move up into the co-main event against a former UFC champion. What does this opportunity mean to you?
It's a big opportunity to my personal life, to my professional life. You know, I'm very excited to this fight. It's my debut in UFC, and I'm training a lot. My opponent is a very tough guy. He's the #2 in the world. He's the last champion, and I train a lot, and I'm ready for this fight. I'm ready to win this fight.
Now, you've been a highly ranked and regarded heavyweight for some time, a lot of quality wins, most notably the win over Fedor Emelianenko. Why do you think it took so long for you to get to the UFC?
Você tem lutado bastante com os melhores do mundo nessa divisão, você tem sido considerado um dos melhores. Por que você acha que levou tanto tempo para você chegar ao UFC?
I don't know. You know, I want to fight the best guys always. You know, I'm born to fight, and now I'm here in the UFC. My first fight, and I want a long life here in the UFC.
And I guess all that matters is that you have gotten here. Now, one of your natural advantages is certainly your size, but you said on our UFC 146 countdown show you are coming into this fight around 20 pounds lighter than normal. What led to that decision and that change?
Yeah, I'm working with Mike Doge for this fight. I dropped 20 pounds 5 weeks ago. I stayed with 270 every day, and to move more faster, you know, because my opponents are very fast. He move a lot. He have good hands, fast hands, speed. He's good, and now I'm more comfortable. My weight's good. My shape is better. I'm more faster, and I will try win this fight.
All right, well, it's been a long time coming. We are excited to have you here in the UFC. All right, now we get to the former champion of the world, Cain Velasquez. Now, no one likes losing, especially a champion like yourself. Your first loss just so happened to come as you headlined the UFC's national network television debut. I know this isn't news to you, but the crowd was there in droves for you, the Mexican-American fans. What kind of challenge was it for you mentally to move past that night and sort of accept the way things transpired?
It's a thing of, you know, you can't really dwell on the past. You got to just learn from it and then kind of move forward. Take that into your training. Take that into your next fights. So you kind of just learn from it, you know, from whatever you can, and just try to get better as a person and as a fighter.
Now, I mentioned to Roy Nelson, not just the pressure to win, but the pressure to do so with style, points, and impressive performance here could certainly get you right back in there against the winner of Junior Dos Santos and Frank Mir. Is there pressure on you to not just win, but to make a statement that you're back and ready to go chase that gold again?
No, you know, never any pressure. Just knowing what I have to do out there, you know, no matter what, I want to throw exciting fights. You know, that's just how we see it. But no pressure to win, you know, just going out there doing my thing, you know, and that's it.
Well, you're certainly not a guy that makes excuses, but you did have a nagging knee injury entering the Junior Dos Santos fight. It occurred when you beat Brock Lesnar back in October of 2010. Here we are, May of 2012. From a physical standpoint, how close are you to 100%?
You know, 100%, you know, with this training camp, rested my body a lot, you know, and to getting into it. And then finally when I got into training camp, just as every week went on, just kind of picked up the pace of the training camp. And with that really helped me to get better and to kind of, have my body to where it was before.
All right, for the heavyweights, you will see Saturday night Dave Herman, Antonio Bigfoot Silva, Cain Velasquez, and Big Country Roy Nelson. Thanks for the time, fellas. We'll see you Saturday. You guys. So the 8 men we have just seen have a combined MMA record of 156 wins against only 20 losses. And as you might expect, opportunity certainly knocks in the form of the biggest heavyweight showcase in UFC history. But of course,